feels amazing to be picking dahlias after what literally seems like months of hard work. In May, this field was totally bare, there was nothing here. Got my husband in, on the tractor obviously, and he created the furrows and we hand planted 8,000 dahlia tubers and raked the soil in over the top. And today we're opening our doors with Pick Your Own, which I cannot wait to see people fill their buckets full of our gorgeous flowers. I think the reason to plant dahlias is there's so much focus on gardening at the beginning of the year, in May and June, when you've got all those other delphiniums and lupins and stuff coming through. But usually the end of the season, autumn time, gets overlooked. The season's not done until the frost comes. So this is a dahlia tuber. Now, you plant these under cover in like March or April time, but don't put them out in the garden until the threat of frost has passed. You can plant them directly outside, but not until end of April, early May time, because if they get frosted, they will rot. And then when they're this size, you can plant them out into the garden. But the one thing I would do is make sure you pinch out the centre stem, which is this one here. And that will encourage these side shoots to sprout, and that will produce way more flowers. They literally come in every single shape, colour, size. You can have them in a beautiful bouquet. So they're cut and come again flowers. So the more dahlias you pick from a plant, the more flowers the plant will produce. I mean, it's like a flower factory. So dahlias need to be grown in full sun. The more sunlight they get, the more flowers they produce. You need to have really good free draining soil, really nice and rich, and also deadhead regularly in order to encourage more flowers. Dahlias will rot if they get frosted or they're left in water. And being able to nurture and grow and look after this really ugly looking dahlia tuber to the point where it eventually flowers and they look like this is such a huge sense of satisfaction. Farming is definitely not an easy ride. And I don't come from a horticulture background, so all of this is totally new to me. Right, have you got the mallet, Jess? Yes. So I used to run a wedding video business and we employed 6 members of staff. We had 300 weddings booked for 2020. And then when COVID struck, we literally lost everything overnight. I just found myself spiralling. I knew I had to have a sense of purpose again, and dahlias and my garden became that purpose. I decided to plant 200 dahlia tubers and create this massive dahlia beach in my garden. And it took away all of that fear and that anxiety that we felt about losing the business. I realised quite early on with growing these dahlias that there was a huge interest in how to grow them, how quickly they grew. People didn't know you could plant a tuber and in literally 4 months you had a 6-foot tall plant. And I thought, that could be a good business idea here. I just had this vision of people picking flowers and feeling like this joy that I got from picking flowers and learning how to grow them and then being able to grow their own at home. But I thought there's no way this can fail. And loads of people said at the start, pick your own flower field won't work, people will trash it, people won't pick carefully, the flowers won't come back quick enough, it's a terrible idea. And I did it anyway. It's been hugely challenging, and not coming from a horticultural background, I was quite willing to just throw myself in at the deep end, and be a quick learner. But the thing that you come to learn the most is that you're not in control. The weather controls everything. Last year we planted 10,000 dahlia tubers and we didn't have access to water, we couldn't afford the irrigation, so we just let it go and there was a drought and they all failed. By failing, you learn how not to do it. And I think there comes a resilience from having lost everything. So 3 years ago I was a hobby gardener. And now I grow 18,000 dahlia tubers on 2 separate sites, Pick Your Own site and a wholesale site, where we supply all of the London farmers markets. So you could say I don't do things by halves. And now I think we finally cracked it, which feels great.